welcome to the Trade Informed live stream this morning. We are live on 2 platforms, so I'm really excited to be live on YouTube and Share Vision. And we should be live on both platforms, YouTube and Share Vision. So this morning we will be live streaming our Excel trading model, and we're going to be taking lots of trades on the euro US dollar. We're going to be trading on the 5-second time frame. The reason we're doing that is because we want you to see lots and lots of trades. We want you to see what this model can do, and hopefully you will see that this could be something that you would find useful. So apologies if you keep seeing our pictures going in and out. Having a few technical problems this morning, but hopefully you can still hear us. I can see we're not visible at the moment. So with me this morning, as usual, is Ren Vallow. How are you today, Ren?
Good morning, Mark. How you doing? I'm doing well.
Good, good.
Looking forward to the live stream today. We've got lots of changes to talk about.
Excellent. Yeah, we have. Yeah, we've got some great stuff. And we're seeing a bit of a bounce in the market this morning, particularly in the equity markets. So that is good and exciting.
That is exciting. Finally, we're getting a little bit of a real bounce, which feels like a more substantial bounce than the last one. But it's still a little bit early to call it a change.
Let's not call it a dead cat bounce yet. Let's keep our fingers crossed that we're going to see a sustained bounce. And lest we forget, there was something like what was it, 25% on the Nasdaq, the bounce that we had starting off back in middle of June 22 this month.
That was a huge bounce, and we could definitely use that right now. The markets could use a little relief. Let the bear breathe.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, anyway, this morning we're going to be talking about automated trading using Excel. So bottom left-hand side of the screen, whether you're watching this live or on catch-up, you can see our Excel trading model. So we are trading on the euro US dollar time frame, and we're looking at, as I mentioned a moment ago, we are trading on the 5-second time frame. So the model that we have got is based in Excel, and we're using MetaTrader 5. So what we've actually developed is an interface to go between our Excel and MetaTrader 5. So you can stream data. We're using the euro US dollar currency pair. And if I switch on here, again, bottom left-hand side of your screen, if I switch on here, you can see that we have prices streaming in. And if I scroll all the way down to the bottom of this otherwise normal Excel spreadsheet, you can see every 5 seconds a new bar of data is streamed in and everything marches upwards. We're taking trades, both long and short trades, and if I, again, bottom left-hand corner of your video, if I go across here, you can see we're taking them very fast indeed. Going long, short. We're using a particular strategy, which we will describe in just a moment, but we are taking lots and lots of trades, both long and short. And if I show you over here very briefly, not that interesting, but you can see on the screen now the output. Now this is giving you a running log of what is happening. So the Python interface is importing, it's checking for data, it's checking for trades every 5 seconds. So Ren, we've made a few changes, haven't we, since last week? You've been the chief architect of those.
Yep, we've made quite a few changes, and one of them is that if you modify your spreadsheet, the interface itself will dynamically adjust, and it'll look for the correct columns and rows for all the trade indications, stop losses, and profit targets. So you can add as many indicators as you want to your spreadsheet. Now, I would say the limitations would eventually hit you with your computer processing power. If you put like 100,000 columns in with lots of processing, eventually your computer processor is going to just be overwhelmed with all the calculations. But really, the sky's the limit at this point. You can put in as many indicators, custom indicators, program your own algorithms, whatever you want into Excel. And the interface itself will look for the correct rows and columns for all the trade indications without you having to adjust anything. So you just use your sheet without worry, and you can cut like RSI, paste it in, and the interface will dynamically adjust according to your new indicator. So that's a big enhancement, and it alleviates a lot of worries like having to adjust rows and columns to accommodate the interface. Now the interface will accommodate you.
Exactly. Yeah, we're making it as easy as possible for anybody that's used to Excel at all. You can put in new indicators. You can make adjustments like change the profit target. I might as well demonstrate that now. See, we're taking trades live. You can see if I scroll in here, and I'll explain just a moment in more detail what Ren was saying. This is our capital graph. So these are all the trades we've taken over the past 1,000 rows of data. And you see there's been quite a lot of movement there. And in fact, we've taken about 240 trades over the past 1,000 bars of data. So that's a lot of trades. But you see over here, you can adjust the profit target and the stop loss in real time. So we're trading today on a demo account, which is obviously a good place to start. But you can use that. It's highly valuable even on a demo account because you can try different things, and you can use a system that will consistently, mechanically, algorithmically take trades exactly to the system that you want to use. So whether it's a moving average crossover, support and resistance, whatever type of strategy it is, you can put it into Excel, you can backtest it using the same tool, and then you can just flick a switch and go live. So you were just saying a moment ago there, Ren, that we've added in more flexibility, and so what I've done just to demonstrate and take a little bit of advantage of this this greater flexibility is to add some more filters. So we've kept the same basic strategies, and I should say at this point, if you're watching this, there is a link to download the model, the Excel model, and the interface. So there's a link below this. Click on that, enter your email, and you will be able to download this spreadsheet and the interface. You'll be able to run this yourself on MetaTrader 5. You can get a free demo account. You can run it absolutely for free. There is no risk to you whatsoever, and you can test it and try out what we're doing. So,
and we did have one of our viewers download this weekend. We were talking to them about it, and they were running it successfully. So that was kind of exciting to hear.
absolutely, yeah. Sorry, just a sec. Somebody said they can't hear me talking, or any of us talking. So if you can't hear us talking, please just let us know.
Yeah, it might be. That's too bad.
Yeah, I'm just going to adjust it. Let me just see in case we have got our sound not quite right. Okay, yeah, no, I think that's a valid thing. I think we should be hopefully back on now. Okay. So I can still hear you, Ren?
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great. Yeah, apologies for anybody that was on the live stream. We should have got our sound sorted now. So, yeah, what we've been talking about, first of all, you can download this model. So, most important thing, you can download the model and the interface that we are showing today. And it's an Excel-based interface. There is a link below the video for you to download it, for you to get on the list and find out what we're doing. There's no cost, there's absolutely for free. And you can download it and you can test it on a demo account yourself. So, we're trading today, we're taking trades on the Euro US dollar on the 5-second time frame. What we were just saying a moment ago there is we have added more flexibility into the model. So if you're at all used to Excel, you'll know you can add in new columns, something like this, bottom left hand corner of your screen, add and delete new columns, and the model will still work absolutely the same way it did before. The reason it is good for you to be able to add in new columns is because you can add in new calculations, new technical indicators, and add new features to your trading strategy. So what I have done to demonstrate these new changes, bell started, so it's 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, so the stock market is open. Let's see which way the markets go from here. I've added in a new filter. So I'm calling it the price sector filter, and let's see how effective it is. So what I'm looking at in particular for this type of strategy is the percentage of winning trades.
Oh yeah, this is a good one. This is a really good one. Wow.
So what I'm doing here is this is a momentum type strategy, and it's taking trades when the price is moving in the direction. So it takes long trades when the price is moving in the long direction, and it takes short trades when the price is moving in the short direction. So what I'm calling the price sector filter is dividing all the back history over 100 bars into two sectors. So 50% is 50% of all the previous price action. You can envisage it as a very long stochastic oscillator. So the price has to be at least 50% strength before opening a trade. Now,
Excellent.
switch that on and off.
So that basically it filters out some of the trades. Like we have a lot less trades when we put that filter on.
Right, exactly, yeah. So if I put that back to 0, we'd get all the trades again.
Yep.
Although we were doing pretty well, even with a lower number of percentage of winning trades. When I put it back to, say, 25%, we're up to 43% winning trades, 50%, and 75%. You can see how it affects the strategy. Now, this is going to work better on some strategies than others. And in fact, some strategies will work better when the market is weaker than normal. So you've got more potential to get bigger trades. So that's a new filter. I've also added back in our EMA filter. I'll stick that on now. So that doesn't help. That's interesting.
Well, that does not help.
We could try. So we could try reversing that one. That's my immediate thought there when it does that. So we could change the value though. We can make it much quicker, a shorter EMA.
Wow. Yeah. On a very strong move, it's best not to filter out all those trades, it looks like.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
okay, that's interesting. And we've got the one that I introduced last week. Let's switch all of it. You can switch multiple filters on.
And we have our strategy 2 as well.
This is all on strategy 2. Yeah, all of these are on strategy 2. So the higher highs, higher lows filter is an idea that I've been working on. I mentioned it last week in my membership group, and it is basically that we want to see a symmetry. We want to see higher highs associated with higher closes and vice versa. If we're not getting that, it's not taking the trades.
Right. I like this one a lot because it really cuts back on the amount of trading and commissions that you experience, and the win rate's relatively high. It's been a good one.
Yeah. So, all of these filters are just mechanical, algorithmic filters that can apply for different types of trading strategies at different times. So there's something to play with.
Really like it. Yeah, that's great. That's great, Mark. And it shows the flexibility of the platform and how the interface can just adapt, which is really nice.
Yeah. So exactly. So that's what we've been working on in recent times, is making this flexible, making it more useful for the end users. So if you want to download this spreadsheet, you can do the demo version of it. There's a link below this video, whether you're watching on YouTube or ShareVision or on Catch Up, it doesn't matter. You can download a version of this, you can test it out. The demo version we've got available is working on this exact same time frame that we're showing today, the 5-second time frame. The reason for that, we fixed it on that time frame, is so that you can go through nice and quickly, get lots of trades and discover about the strategy. It's not the ideal necessarily for trading on a live account. We certainly don't recommend the demo version tested on a live account, but you can get a feel for how it works, and you can work quickly and learn quickly about the platform.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. And in this week's testing, I had an interesting kind of off-topic thing that I tested out. I ended up testing some older versions of Excel, and it worked. So you're not really limited to the latest and greatest Excel version. You can have, if you have an old version of Excel going back to, I went as far back as the one that was supported for Windows XP, and it worked. So yeah, the graphics are slightly rougher, but the calculations all work and everything's fine.
And you like the old school look of it, you told me.
I did. I forgot how clear and crisp Excel used to look. It looks to me now a little bit soft and muddled.
Mm,
The graphics, everything's much sharper and easier to read in the old versions of Excel. That was something that I was surprised. I totally forgot what it looked like.
mm,
It's the colors are much more brilliant. It's the contrast is higher.
yeah. Yeah, there's advantages and disadvantages with Excel. I mean, we love Excel as a platform, and that's why we built our tool around it. But you can do so much with it. But
Yes.
you do want a clean interface. You do want something that is not too busy. It depends how you like your charts as well. But we certainly, you can do simple things with this latest version of Excel. Just switch off the toolbar.
Yep.
Sorry, excuse me. Switch off the toolbar there. You can take away parts of this that you aren't even using. So you may be somebody that wants to have 17 different filters, or you may just have one different filters, but you can do that to suit how you like to trade and the flexibility you want in your trade. If you want something very simple that's just going to do exactly the same thing, the same type of day, you can use this system. And if you want something that's flexible, something that's going to be able to adapt, and you can provide lots of input into, you can use this same system for that as well.
Yep. Yeah. Excel's very flexible and powerful,
Hmm.
and it's widely used. So it's a really good tool.
Yeah. So, Ren, we've been talking about, and we've had lots of people contact us. So you were saying we had a user contact us, and he needed a bit of support, didn't he, to get the demo
Yeah.
version running. What was the problem? I know you spoke to him via email a couple of times.
So we went back and forth a little bit, and it's just a matter of what I think is just make sure that the files are all in the same folder. So
Mm,
the Excel file and the interface file need to sit in the same folder.
hmm.
And then the other thing that I think that most people will run up against is when you originally launched MetaTrader 5, it defaults to no algorithmic trading, and there's this little button on the middle top part of the screen. It's like you press play and it turns green, and your algorithmic trading is turned on. If that's not turned on, then you won't be able to connect up. So that those are the two things that I've noticed. The other thing that is common that we run into is the symbol. Our default symbol USD EUR
Mm,
USD is slightly different depending on which broker you're using. So
mm,
in the UK and Mark's broker, you have to put a .p after it, and in
mm,
mine, it's EUR USD in capital letters. So the symbol in the trading symbol has to be correct for your broker. And you can see that right in the MetaTrader 5 platform. When you're looking at the symbols, it'll show you the actual symbol. So those things have to match up, but otherwise, it's as simple as just putting the Excel file and the interface file in the same folder and running the interface file. It'll launch
mm.
the Excel interface, it'll load Excel, it'll load MetaTrader 5 right from scratch. And once that algorithmic trading is turned on, you don't have to worry about turning it on or off again. It just defaults to being on. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's
and
right.
yeah, yep,
So, yeah, that's right. So a couple of things that you've just pointed out there. If you can see the top left-hand corner of these are just the data that's available from my broker. A lot of brokers, they have their own particular market codes. For some reason, this one has a .p after it. Normally, it's going to just be Euro US dollar, EUR USD. And that's all you need to put in your spreadsheet if you're running the demo. And you put that in cell C5 on the results tab. Scrolling into it now. Just need to enter it in here. And the interface will read it directly from your spreadsheet when you open it up. So just
yep,
if I wanted to switch to cable, which has been in the news a lot for the wrong reasons over the past month or two, you would put
yeah.
in GBP USD, and in my case .p, but as long as it matches with what your broker says. So that's a good point. What about this thing about it's got to be in the same folder?
Yeah, so
Can the folder be named anything? Is that a
the folder can be named anything. You could just have it on the desktop if you wanted
mm,
to. They just have to be in the same place. So your interface file and your Excel spreadsheet need to be right next to each other. And as long as they are, everything will work fine.
right? Yeah. So that's Obviously, it's quite a simple thing, but it's something that you can easily forget. Just download them to the same place. Like lots of people, if I just download something, I end up leaving stuff in my downloads folder. If you want to,
Yes.
you can run it straight from there. It would be slightly neater to move it to a dedicated folder, but it doesn't matter. The interface itself will only run when you double click on it, when you tell it to run, and when you switch it off, you close down the window, it will not run. So that it won't run in the background, it won't do anything like that, it won't run on startup, it will only run when you tell it to. So,
Right.
am I
And the
understanding
interface,
that correctly?
yes, you do. Yeah, Mark. And the interface doesn't install anything on your computer. It just runs and connects to Excel. So it doesn't have to install anything for you. So that's the other good thing. So like you said, it doesn't run in the background. It doesn't, it shuts off when it's supposed to shut off. When you close it, it's gone. So,
Mm.
and one other thing I've noticed that might be a little confusing when you run the interface, a little black window pops up, which is kind of just like a log of what's happening with the interface that it is running. When you want to see your data, you want to look at Excel.
Mm.
Uh, and I think that without knowing that, you might look at that window and say, well, what's happening? But you can just minimize that little window that shows, it's just a log of what's the connection to Excel, the connection to MT5. It just shows you that so you know that you connected. If it doesn't connect properly, it'll give a message in that window saying what happened, like maybe the symbol of your stock wasn't correct, or there's a data connection. It'll mention that in that window, but that window is just informational text. You can minimize that and look at Excel to see your stock data though. Because I think
Yeah.
one of our users was looking in there for the stock data, and the best place is in Excel. That's where
Mm.
the stock data will be.
Yeah, so I'm just demonstrating what Ren was saying there on the screen. You can see this output file here most of the time when it's running normally. It will just say checking for trades, opening, closing trades. But if there is a problem, you'll get a readout explaining what the problem is. You can always let us know, and like the person that we spoke to this week, we'll help you to get up and running.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we'll give you a hand. It's pretty straightforward. So there's very little things that can go wrong. As long as you have the latest version of MT5, you have your Excel sheet and you have your interface, you're good to go.
Yeah. Let's talk a moment about MT5 actually. So a lot of people do use MetaTrader 5 and MetaTrader 4, although
Yep.
this system only works on MetaTrader 5, and the
Yep.
reason for that is it's simply better for what we're trying to do. It's a generational shift from MetaTrader 4, which I realize is still a very useful tool, and there's some convergence with MT4 and MT5, but
Yep.
this tool works with MetaTrader 5, which creates some really useful things that we can pass on to the users of this software. You can connect really nicely. You can stream data without it affecting, without it being so resource intensive. You can stream it independently from your terminal, your platform. So you can take trades separately. You can look at different accounts, do everything you want separately, because Excel is connecting directly to your broker's server, and that's where it's getting the data and sending the trade information to. So it is a good system. We realize that MetaTrader 4 is still more widely used, particularly for Forex traders. I think that may be starting to change, but
Yep.
you do sometimes have to look around. Tons of brokers everywhere in the world, US, UK, Europe, Australia, South Africa, and all over the place. They offer MetaTrader 5, but you may have to look around. But there is still a lot of brokers. Lots of them are very good, and the prices we've got have been excellent so far.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, the data is really it's well formatted. Using this API connection is a lot faster than the old MetaTrader 4. We had a DDE interface, the same kind of interface we had with Rhythmic. And while it works, it's actually connected to the platform. So when you look at a different symbol in the platform, it adjusts your data feed on Excel. And
Mm.
having an API that direct connects to the data eliminates that conflict. So it just does much smoother way to integrate the systems, and it's a more advanced way to do it. So that's why we're not really going back towards the Rhythmic or DDE interfaces. This is just a much better way to do it, and I think that Rhythmic is also pursuing the API direct at this point as well, because it's just better.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, as simple as that. It's better. Um, We know people like their particular platforms that they're used to. Totally appreciate that. But I would highly recommend giving MetaTrader 5 a chance because it's pretty good. It's very simple and it works extremely well with this interface. And in fact, other interfaces as well. It's a pretty good
Yes.
and well supported modern architecture for the way it's set up. That actually brings us on, Ren, to we were talking about TD Ameritrade. I think we've spoken about them a few times, plus TOS, Think or Swim. Any updates that you've got to add to that? You're the one looking into these different connections.
Yes. Yeah. So we've been looking and digging at the different ways to connect to different brokerage firms. So TD Ameritrade has an unofficial API
Mm,
to Thinkorswim. And it looks to be like a web API, and it is feasible to code that. So if somebody was really stuck with TD Ameritrade, they really wanted to trade off that platform, it is possible. There are some limitations, and we'd probably have to do a little bit of a feasibility study with that to see what you can and can't do. But it looks
mm,
for the basics of placing a trade, opening and closing a trade. It will work. The other one we looked at, Tastyworks, of course, has a nice API, which is
mm,
fully supported. We absolutely can connect to their data feed and we can place trades with their system. And then Interactive Brokers has a third party that they recommend going through to connect something like MT5 to the Interactive Broker system. They have a way of doing it. So that is another one is very possible to do. So anybody who is willing to have an API, and that would include Rhythmic at this point, you could connect up to any platform you wanted to use, essentially.
mm.
So I would say most brokerages are looking at this now, and most like that have the in-house platforms are. This has become such a popular topic that most of them are trying to support an API interface.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, which is good. So at the moment, we're offering MetaTrader 5. Highly recommend if you're interested in doing some automated trading, which you can do for all sorts of reasons. Just if you want to give it a try, or if you can't be at your desktop at all times of the day because you're working, because you're sleeping, because you're doing anything else other than sitting in front of your computer looking for trades, and this is a sort of platform that you can consider. It's built in Excel, which makes it easy to use, and you can download the demo version, as we've been saying, absolutely for free, and you can do more or less everything that I'm doing here today and give it a try and let us know what you think about it.
Yeah.
So what Ren was just saying there, TD Ameritrade is possible. It's got a great API. Hopefully it will get better. IB, they offer a third party interface. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
So yeah.
our interface would connect to this third party interface,
Yes. And
essentially.
that you get the data from them
Yeah,
directly.
right.
And
Okay.
and some of the brokerages offer free data and some don't. So
Mm,
that's the other thing you have to kind of work with your broker and figure that out. But for the MT5 system, here in the US, you get free data for your demo accounts. For the Euro USD, that's a free
mm,
one. And also the S&P 500 futures is also free. So there's a lot of free stuff with MT5. The tool is very robust. I really love using it. So I kind of highly recommend that one
mm,
just for the flexibility. And also MT5 connects to tons of brokers where if you're using Thinkorswim, the only brokerage that will connect to is TD Ameritrade. So you're really stuck with one broker if you're using that platform. And that's why MT5 became an attractive demo resource.
mm. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Ben, hi Ben, great to have you here.
Yeah.
Having some problems. This dot P, yeah, sorry, that's just. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a version that just doesn't even have that dot P. That is such a simple thing, though. It is just the code that the particular broker that I'm using, that I'm got on the screen here, no affiliation with them. It's just their particular code. So just remove that dot P, restart the system, and see what difference that makes. The other thing, Ben, to try is making sure the both files are in the same folder, as Ren was saying a moment ago, and that's really should be it. You should get a
Yep.
readout from the screen, which I'll show. Let me see. this sort of output, you'll see checking for trades. If it's normal, if it's not normal, then you'll get some sort of error message. Take a screenshot, have a look at it, copy it, send it to us, and we will get you online.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's as simple as that. If something's not connecting properly, it'll be in that little message box. It'll tell you what's happening. And most likely, the biggest problem usually is the symbol. If it's very case sensitive too. So if you put in lower cases and it's supposed to be capital for your broker, it won't work. Yeah, so it's case sensitive.
Yeah, this is not us being difficult here. It's just that it's very precise. The API needs to have exactly the symbol.
Yep. Yeah,
Is there
whatever
something we could do going forward, actually, Ren, to check the symbol, anything like that? Check if the symbol's available.
It is possible. It would be broker specific, so we'd
Yeah.
have to make. Yeah, so it is possible to make a call out there to see what the different symbols available would be. But yeah, right now for the purpose of the demo, I think it's best just to look in MT5, see what your broker symbol is, and just put it in. I know that in some of the brokerages here in the U.S., there's a slash between the EUR and the USD, and in the free version of MetaTrader 5, it's just EUR USD with no slash. So I've seen so many variations on that, and the .p I have seen as well. So I think it's very broker specific.
Yeah. So it really is as simple as that to make sure you've got the right code. If you see the top left-hand corner of your screen, I can't zoom in on this, but you can see here, you've just got a list of the codes. Here it's color coded, and you can see Euro, the Forex pairs are pretty obvious, pretty standard. The CFDs for the futures are pretty standard, but they've all got a .p. You've just got to look at what the format that your broker uses. If I go down a bit further, I've got some stocks here. Again, there's CFDs, Amazon.com_Inc. You'd have to just copy and paste that code in if you want to use it. Some of them aren't the most convenient to use. You've got Bitcoin here. I'll stick Bitcoin on the screen here. And absolutely no reason why you can't use this for cryptos if your broker offers that.
Yep. It works well with cryptos if your broker offers it.
Yeah. Absolutely no reason you can't use it for stocks, commodities, crude oil, natty gas, lots of different options. Just get the right code, match the code to what your broker uses. Maybe put a list of them in Excel. That's an easy way to do it.
Yeah, that's a great way of doing it. Also, if you're going to change symbols, you would want to shut down the interface before you make the changes over so that you can download fresh data for the Excel backtest and the forward testing. So that way you're just focusing on one symbol at a time for this particular demo version.
Yeah. So could you repeat that actually, Ren, so I can catch the start of that again?
So yeah, if you're going to switch symbols on your interface part of it, you can go in your platform MT5 and look at any symbol you want and do whatever you want inside the MT5. But if you want to bring in new data on your spreadsheet and change the symbol at the top, then I would shut down the interface and restart it.
Yeah.
What it will do is it'll refresh all the data in Excel, and that way you'll have fresh data for the historic data as well as the going forward. And if you don't refresh it, you'll have historic data that would match the previous symbol. So you want to refresh.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, every time you start up a new instance of the interface, it will automatically clear out the data and refresh it. And that's particularly important if you're switching symbols. So if you're going from Euro USD to GBP USD, enter it, close down the interface, enter it here, cell C5, zooming in again, bottom left of the screen, enter GBP USD in here. And what would happen, Ren, actually, I haven't tried this. What would happen if I change the symbol now?
It's not going to do anything it won't
only
hurt
reads it once.
Yeah. It's going to read it in the very beginning of the interface. So you're just going to basically continue on with the old data from the EUR USD as opposed to like getting the fresh data. So that's why I said you want to close her down. Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter what I did here. If I want to change it for my next, the next time I log in, I would just do here, switch down the interface, restart it. For me, it took about 5 seconds for the interface to initialize, connect to
Yes.
the API and start putting data in, sometimes even less. Really, really quick.
Yeah, it's very quick. Yeah. So just
Yeah.
close your interface down and restart, and you can refresh your symbol with a brand new, yeah, there's a brand new data set.
If you don't have Excel open, when you open the interface, it will open Excel for you. If
Yep.
you don't have MT5 open, it will open that for you as well. So
Yeah. And
coming
there's no need
back,
to close. Yeah. There's no need to close Excel down or anything like that to refresh your symbol. Just leave Excel as it is. So that's a good thing.
so Ben, question, which broker do we use for MT5? So I initially started out with Admiral Markets, not one I'd heard of before. They were pretty decent. I've switched over to Pepperstone. Again, they seem pretty decent. They are an Australian brokerage. We had no affiliation with them. They are registered here in the UK, also EU,
Yep.
naturally Australia, and I think maybe South Africa as well. A lot of brokers, I've said this before, make sure you get a broker that's licensed, got a subsidiary in the area that you live, if at all possible. Ren, which one are you using for your testing purposes at the moment?
So I'm using AMP Global, and they're all around the world, but here in the U.S., what they do is they hook you up with a data provider, and I'm using CQG at the moment.
Yeah.
So Rhythmic is another option, but trying something new these days. So I've hooked it up to CQG. In with my brokerage firm, it's not entirely free to do the data. Um, like I can do the demo data with MT5 for free, but if I want to do stocks and all the other things, I do have to pay $10 a month. But that's really minor when it comes down to it. So yeah, if you sign up with AMP, it's fine, but you can actually just use the free data from MT5 data provider. But when you want to go live on a live trading account, they will charge you a $10 a month data fee. So that's
Okay.
the only disadvantage. But I do like it. It works well and everything's seamless and the data is really fast. And also the executions are very fast. So I'm having a good experience with all those things.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's a couple of suggestions, not exactly a recommendation, although you've used AMP Global for a while. I
Yep. I've been
understand,
using
Ren.
them for years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And CQG, obviously, very large and decent price data
Yep.
provider.
And I think that's why a lot of people ask about TD Ameritrade and Thinkorswim because the platform itself is pretty good. And then TD Ameritrade provides free data to their clients. So I think that that's partly why people gravitate towards that one, but it's not as flexible a platform as MT5. And of course, if you decide you want to switch brokers, you can't take the Thinkorswim platform with you. But with MT5, you can move the platform to a new broker if you decide you want to switch brokers, so you don't lose all your settings and everything. So that's kind of a mini advantage to having something like MT5 as a trading platform. It can move with you to another broker where Thinkorswim can't.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So thanks for that, Ren. And Ben, could you run multiple Excel files to run different symbols? I assume you're talking simultaneously. What do you think about that, Ren?
Yeah, it is technically possible. I think that your processing power on your computer would kind of limit how many of those you could do at once. So if you were trying to trade like 10 different symbols at once, I'm sure you would need a pretty good computer to do it. And I wouldn't recommend that because it'd be hard to manage all of those symbols. Trying to focus on back testing alone on one symbol like the euro takes a lot of time. So you want to be like more, I would think, an expert in one strategy and one symbol or one product. And I wouldn't want to have too many things happening once when it comes to auto trading. So you kind of want to be a specialist, I think, when it comes to trading and algorithmic trading, because you've got to do a lot of back testing to make sure your system works properly, and then you can run it with confidence. But running across the board like 10 different symbols would be technically possible. It's just processing power on your computer is the only limitation you would have.
Yeah, I could add to that. I agree with everything Ren's just said. If you're trading on a slightly higher time frame to the one we're doing here, then that might be another option. If you're, for example, looking at say the hourly time frame or even higher than the hourly time frame, maybe 4 hourly or even daily, then you'll be naturally using less processing power. You won't
Yes.
necessarily need it on all the time, the interface on
Right.
all the time. You can switch it on and off at the appropriate moment, and then that might be a better way to monitor, say, a portfolio of 10 different forex pairs, for example. Find the
Right.
strongest and look for opportunities in the strongest or the strongest and the weakest, particularly for forex pairs. So something like that. You could use this system to potentially monitor multiple
Yep.
symbols, but maybe trading on a limited number, as Ren was saying, just for, because it can be so difficult to keep track of what's going on.
Yeah, and I would say if there was a case where you were trading on a longer term time frame, like the daily time frame or the weekly time frame, and you had a strategy that you really were embracing, then we would probably do a custom Excel spreadsheet that would say do like 20 different symbols and just do that strategy for all 20 at the same time. Instead of having multiple spreadsheets open, we would probably, do it all from one. So it would be kind of like absolutely possible to do. And time frame, the longer the time frame, the more feasible it becomes.
Yeah. Yeah, it may be better to put it all in one spreadsheet, run the analysis, pull in all the data, and then output trading on a single symbol at a time.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that would work really well.
Yeah. And that would use less processing power.
Yeah. Especially if you're only running it once a day or something, it could easily go through all your symbols and calculate everything once a day, or even if it was every 4 hours, it wouldn't be a problem. But I wouldn't want to run it on a 5 second time frame.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're currently spending time flicking through charts and you want to minimize that time, well, this is a way you can do that. Right, we've gone on for a while today, so thank you everybody for watching, whether live or on catch up. Remember that this model is available. We're going to be uploading a new demo version pretty soon, and we will be introducing the premium version as well. So if you want to stay informed with what's going on, just click on that link, find this nice demo version that you can test at the moment, and you'll be on the email list and you'll be able to keep informed with what is happening going forward. And we're looking to go live with the premium version very soon.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay, well, Ren, thanks for being here. Thanks for all your comments. Thanks for everybody that's been watching. Thank you very much to Ben for your comments. And we're going to end the webinar or the live stream now. Ren, have you got any final things?
Nope, just let's see how. Looking forward to a market bounce here into the fourth quarter. Hopefully,
that's what we want. Yeah, the seasonalities are starting to click into gear now. This third week of October is the time when we start to see those seasonal bounces. Maybe we're going to be slightly early this year. We've already had a strong bounce. Let's wait and see. So that will be hopefully a big rise in equity prices.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Thanks very much for everyone who's been watching, and we will look forward to seeing you at the next live stream.
Thank you, Mark.